Hello everyone. Image segmentation is the topic of this lecture. Let me start, choose the pointer. Yes. Image segmentation is an important component of image processing. We know that image processing has a number of components: image acquisition, image enhancement, image restoration, image segmentation, image formation, image representation. So this is one of those components called as image segmentation. It's very, very crucial, very, very important, especially in all modern applications where we are talking about robotics, driverless car, mobile robots, where mobile robot has to choose a direction. Driverless car has to drive on its way without any obstruction. So it has to classify, it has to identify the different regions. Medical imaging is another area where image segmentation plays most significant role when it comes to detecting or locating some tumor or some abnormal regions in medical images, irrespective of type of medical images. So, what is image segmentation? It is used to partition, as we can see the definition, it is used to partition an image into meaningful regions for particular application. Why do we divide? Why do we segment? As I was talking about the example of image segmentation in medical imaging. Why do we segment? Because each and every small part which we are going to segment has some meaningful content, some meaningful information. Therefore, image segmentation aims at partitioning an image into a number of meaningful areas, a number of meaningful reasons for suitable application, for a specific application. You can see here just an example of segmentation where the tiger, is uh, uh, segmented. You can see the entire body and the other areas as well, assigning the different areas or different colors. So the segmentation is based on some attribute, some parameter. On what basis you will partition? On what basis we will segment? We cannot segment randomly, that just divide the area into 10 different areas. We cannot do that. So how to do it? How do we do it? On the basis of some criterion or some parameter. That's what I'm saying. So this is based on measurements which are obtained, which are extracted from the images themselves. The attributes may be like gray level value, different colors, different textures, depth, movement of the images, or the subsequent or interdependent attributes. The attributes which will be derived from or derived using grayscale values, color values, texture values, etc. So there will be always some deciding factor, deciding parameter, attribute. Based on that, we will segment the images. See here, there is one image. What does this image contain? We do not know. when we really want to understand different parts of the images, this is very complex, but any type of image which we want to analyze, which we want to interpret, we have to understand it. So in one way, what is interesting, what is of our interest, we can choose. What is the region of interest, what is of our interest, our application, we will choose that. Okay, so it depends on specific application, which application we are talking about, we want to use, and accordingly it will be segmented. You see here another example. Segmentation can be split. If in the previous one there was a complex image, here there are 3 examples. Segmentation can split an image into different regions based on, as I told you, some criteria. The criteria may include intensity, which we also call as grayscale value, color, texture, orientation or energy, the amount of information, entropy, mean, grayscale value, average value, standard deviation. There are so many parameters which are extracted or derived or measured with respect to the grayscale or color or texture values. So based on these criteria, the segmentation splits the different splits an image into suitable number of images, for example, or parts. See here this particular first example where the splitting has been taken has been applied, and how many total regions are partitioned? 21. In the second example where we find that 18 different regions are there. Similarly, in the third one, 8 regions are there. So how many areas, what is the application, and how many different distinguished or distinct regions are there which has or which carries some meaningful information. Like you see here, this particular area, if I can use some highlighter, let me choose some highlighter. Can I choose here? Yeah, I can choose. See here, this entire area, look at here, I'm putting a yellow color here. See that this entire area is actually white color, and see that this is the bottom part, you know, of this object or the image. So therefore, it has been divided into, or it has been divided as same. The values have been assigned in same region. Like you can see, these are the different regions. This is different region. This is different region. If you go to second image, similarly, you will find that, as you can see, face of a person, it's a same region. If you see the arm, the hand, another reason. If you see below the hand, there is another reason. If you see the head, that too, hair part, a different reason. So similarly, the number of regions here is 16. And the last one you see here, less number of details can be seen here. So the building has highly, 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4 regions. And the surrounding region of building or the building like structure is divided into some 3 to 4 regions based on different attributes. So when we are applying segmentation, the attributes are very, very important that determine how many regions to be chosen, how many regions in which the image will be segmented. What are the applications? Like I was talking about the applications in the beginning, that identifying objects in a scene based measurement, such as we are interested to determine size, shape of certain object. In any application, like in say we are interested to determine size of tumor. If there is a tumor inside medical image, what is the size we want to estimate? What is the structure or shape of the tumor or abnormality inside, X-ray, CT or MRI? We want to know. So we can identify the objects based on the dimension. So all those applications like medical applications, suppose remotely sensed images. Remotely sensed images, there are satellite aerial images. We want to identify which area is dominated by plant, which area is dominated by some other objects. Is it forest? Is it the land where vegetables are there, flowers are there, fruits are there, other trees are there, or some crops are there. Is there any damage to the crop or the crops which are there in certain region? All these analysis can be very simply easily made when you segment the image. Identifying objects in moving scene, video compression, or suppose there is a moving scene, we want to identify how many objects are moving, whether that car is moving or stopped. So based on movement, the way some person moves, we can find out a different characteristics, behavioral characteristics as well of a person. So there, in each step of the movement of a person, that frame of movement can be segmented and can be analyzed. Identifying objects which are different distances from sensor using depth measurements or laser range finder, enabling path planning for mobile robot. I was telling you in the beginning, mobile robot, driverless car, where it has to distinguish, where it has to differentiate between the obstacles, other vehicles, other mobile robots which are moving on the way. So path planning by the robot, path planning and navigation kind of application also requires segmentation. There may be numerous applications. As I told you, in modern applications where image processing is involved, segmentation plays a very significant role. See here, there is another example. Segmentation is based on grayscale values. If you look at the first picture, see here, if we can choose a highlighter, say here, I think this is probably a chili. See here, right? And therefore, it's being assigned a green color here. Look at here in the second picture. See, there is probably it's an apple. See here. So the apple is assigned a different color. There is one more fruit here. It is different fruit. It is assigned different color here. Similarly, there are different fruits are here. There are different fruits are there, which are assigned some different colors here, so that we can differentiate between these objects. This is just an example for highlighting how does segmentation work. So what is the basis here? What is the basis here to segment the image? This image, grayscale value. If you look at this particular area, the grayscale value is little different. So therefore, based on this grayscale value, another color is assigned. If you see this particular area, more whitish, less gray, the chili. So that's being assigned a different color like its original color, like green color. So this is how, on the basis of grayscale value, on the basis of brightness, we can segment. If you see this example, it is based on texture. If you see the first picture, this picture, see there is sofa, right? This is another one, and there are some other kind of tables are there, over which some bottle or water bottle kind of stuff is kept there. So you see this particular area where it has different texture. You see this area, it has different texture. So based on texture, texture is nothing but the patterns which are varying patterns. And based on those patterns, you can identify, you can segment, and then you can, select certain reason. You see here, third image, fourth, fifth, and seventh. So on the basis of texture, on the basis of color, on the basis of grayscale value, you see here, this is on the basis of movement, motion, which direction the pixel values are, they appear to be oriented based on orientation of pixel values. You see here, this side, the orientations are, the pattern is similar here. So orientation is looking like this. If you see this side, so the orientation can clearly be seen here. So based on orientation, the different areas you see here, this is a separate reason that can be clearly seen in the final output. Though the result may not be very promising, the example, this is just for the sake of example, that on what parameters, on what basis we segment. That's the idea. Based on depth of color, the bit depth, the segmentation is based on the range, which is useful for mobile robot. You see here how much, the depth you can clearly see here, understand here based on the depth of grayscale. This is after slight improvement, and final segmented image is the third image. Gray level based segmentation. There are two popular methods by which we can segment. One is with the help of some threshold value, offset value, called as thresholding, and other one is called as clustering. Based on different attributes, we can divide the entire image into a number of clusters. The number of clusters are the different regions or different segments. If you see here, this is the histogram actually, and if you look at the description, this is the noise free and low noise and high noise. There are three areas. This is for high noise, this red color is for low noise, and other one is for noise free. The pixels which are noisy pixels, the pixels which have been affected very much by noise, the pixels which are free from noise, all these can be clearly segmented and clustered with the help of by choosing suitable threshold value. You choose here, there is one threshold, there is one threshold. So between this and this area, the segmentation is achieved, segmentation can be made. Similarly, the background and foreground, the object and background can also be separated, clustered. So when we are talking about noise, we can also choose a parameter called as SNR, signal to noise ratio, to determine which area has more SNR, which pixels have lesser SNR, and accordingly we can cluster. SNR is an important parameter that indicates the quality of pixel, the quality of image rather. But how do we calculate? Based on mean gray level values, right, and the standard deviation here. These are the two mean grayscale values of background and object. We can also say background and foreground. Say when SNR for noise free, it will be very high. For low noise, say 5 dB. High noise, it it is decreasing. So SNR, when noise is increasing, SNR is decreasing. Noise is inversely proportional to SNR. Okay, so in that way we can clearly cluster that the background or object having different values of SNR, having different values of mean, different standard deviation values, we can separate. As I was telling you, there are two methods like thresholding and clustering. So threshold is also important thing, important measure, which is nothing but a suitable value of grayscale value, suitable value of intensity that can be chosen as a reference value, threshold value, and then we can apply some rule, say when the gray level values are less than or equal to T, where T is a value, then this is object pixel. Otherwise, background pixel. When it is greater than T, it's a background pixel. So those pixels which are having more intensity than this T are all background pixels, and other pixels are constituting object. So there are different approaches: iterative approach, adaptive approach, and minimization approach. We can apply thresholding iteratively. We can change the value of threshold iteratively based on what does or how does image appear and what we are interested for. Adaptive thresholding, we can have a mechanism by which threshold can change adaptively. Then optimization, the that some minimization method can also be applied. Like you see here, threshold separates the histogram into two groups. The groups having different mean and variance values. So how can we describe this? Let group, there are two groups O and B. O stands for object and B stands for background. So let O be the pixels having gray level values lesser than T, and background object all pixels having less than T or equal to T, and background pixels say it's B greater than T. So there we have to use some mechanism, we have to use some mathematical foundation, mathematical equation. So here is a probability theory. There is a probability POT, which is the probability of those pixels having some values which are less than T or equal to T, and those which are having greater than T, let the probability be T. So based on this probability, we can check whether the pixel is falling in this region or in the other region. This is how we can compute the probabilities, object, background, where P is actually probability of grayscale value, which is computed by Hi divided by N, where N pixel image, that there are N pixels, and Hi is the histogram. Mean and variance can be calculated. Mean and variance can be calculated by using these expressions: mean of object, mean of background, variance of object, and variance of background. These are the standard ways by which we generally calculate variance and standard deviation, mean and standard deviation, and variance in all other quantitative analysis. As you can see that we are computing difference of each pixel with respect to the mean value for object and multiplying by that probability, relative probability with respect to the object probability, and then we are squaring it, it becomes variance. So based on the variance and the mean values, we can calculate an optimum value of variance as well. And then where is the optimum, we can mark in the histogram, and we can compare the other regions with respect to optimal threshold value. Based on this, we can determine optimal threshold, and then we can separate the different regions like as can be seen in the diagram. For low noise, say the image noise is less, the optimum threshold value is 124, you see here, and the low noise image is this one. So almost exactly halfway between the object and background peaks, because we know that for all grayscale values, the maximum grayscale value is 255. So almost middle is 124, almost mid. And based on that, the two regions are separated. This is the area where the center area you can see. All those pixels are present whose grayscale values are greater than 124. And the other part, all those values, oh, I'm sorry, because we know that white area has higher intensity and black area has lower intensity. So all those values which are lower than 124 are, you can see, in a center, and all those pixels which are having higher grayscale values are almost not visible here in the second picture. So there is clear-cut separation. We can see that this object can be separated, can be distinguished from the background. So background and foreground can be separated, can be segmented, and we can clearly see what the background is and what the background is and what the foreground is. So we can choose, we can suitably choose the threshold value. And you also can see that in this image, there is a noise called as salt and pepper noise. You know, some grains like structures you can see. So this is how we separate the image into a number of regions. Why segmentation is needed? I have already explained why segmentation is needed. Remote sensing application, aerial imaging, satellite imaging, medical imaging, where, see, when we want to locate a tumor here, say, we want to locate a tumor here in this medical image. So what we will do, and suppose we are interested to determine the tumor dimension. How will we determine the tumor dimension? What is the area, perimeter, length, or volume or size of tumor? How will we determine? We extract some features, parameters of certain region. From where that certain region will come? The certain region will be obtained by using segmentation method. So medical imaging, be it automated driving, driverless car, self-driving car, video surveillance, where what is moving, what is the possible object which is coming, whether it is coming or going away. And in all machine understanding, machine vision, today we talk about machine vision, machine learning, where the computer understands every image as a combination of some grayscale values. So it identifies image as a combination of number of clusters, number of small regions based on, sorry, those regions will have different attributes. And this is why the segmentation is very much important in present context. This is another example where you can see this is a biological image where these are tissues. And if we can compare all the images 1, 2, 3, and 4, more clarity can be seen. Even in second image, or in fourth image. So the clustering, the basis of clustering is assigning some particular color or different colors to different areas based on different attributes, and then we can apply clustering. As I gave an example of driverless car, where a car has to move freely on the road, distinguishing different regions, different objects, pedestrians, other four-wheelers, and other two-wheelers and other type of vehicles, trees, and all the road, indicators. Then based on it will continuously, it will keep on segmenting the regions, and based on segmenting, it will keep on classifying. See, in the autonomous driving, what is important is classification. Classification of this object and this object as whether these areas are surrounded by trees, whether there is, a person who is cycling and wants to cross, wants to overtake, or wants to, move in the, that is, turn in this way. Segmentation plays important role. Classifying the entire region into a number of regions needs assistance of segmentation. You can see that, as I was telling you, based on the different color values, shapes, and texture. If you see the first diagram, here, right? In the first diagram, what we can see that there is a flower, and if you want to segment, you may argue that it's a beautiful picture. Why there is a need to segment? But as I told you, for analysis, for classifying the different parts of an object, and that too, this is just an example. So you can see that different colors are assigned to different parts, especially when you see the petals of the flowers being colored in blue. And then this you leaves see here, other, and the background is assigned a different yellow looking color. So the color values are attributes here. If you see the second picture, this one, based on what is the shape, different shapes are representing different objects, and accordingly the different colors can be assigned. Third one, texture. You see here, third one is the example where there is texture. If you can see this, it has different texture. So if you compare the first image and the second image, you will find that the texture is different from this area. So it's either suppressed or permanently some particular color is assigned. And if we are interested to highlight this region, we can keep it, we can retain it, another area can be suppressed. Or if you want to retain this part, we can suppress the other part. And how it is possible? That identifying the textures, the regions were separated and then segmented, or you can say clustered. In the MATLAB as well, those who are exposed to MATLAB, now the features of segmentation, the modules are already there. MATLAB also allows to use a number of apps, application interfaces, where we can interactively apply different segmentation techniques. We can choose a type, a particular image, and we can interactively, intelligently we can apply the different segmentation techniques. We can simplify image analysis workflows based on image segmentation algorithms. Perform deep learning, as I was telling you, intelligently. If you want to apply the segmentation adaptively, intelligently, then you need to choose some, good segmentation technique. Some method so that it can be applied intelligently. So the deep learning, especially when we deal with huge number of images, each image carries huge amount of information. There, the ordinary neural network or ordinary machine learning method does not work. Dimensionality problem is there. Huge dimension is involved. Processing time is needed. So what do? We can go for deep learning. We can use apps as I pointed out in the first statement, interactively using some thresholded images. Using interactive image segmenter app, which is there in the MATLAB, you can iteratively try several methods to segment an image before achieving the desired result. Our desired result is something which we want to achieve. We want to highlight a specified region. We can apply different method in interactive and iterative manner using a suitable machine learning method like deep learning. And these apps which are available in MATLAB facilitate all these provisions so that images can be segmented very nicely, appropriately. So let's sum up this lecture. This lecture is mainly about introduction to that image segmentation. As we know that image segmentation is a very important component as one of the components of image processing. Image segmentation is a method where we segment the entire image into a number of partitions, number of parts, sub-regions or regions for specific applications. Few applications we have highlighted like mobile robot, driverless car, remote sensing, medical imaging, diagnosis, computer-aided diagnosis are the areas where the segmentation plays an important role. We have not discussed in this lecture any particular type of method, but we have studied, we have discussed the criteria, the different attributes. On the basis of those attributes, segmentation works. How do we partition an entire image into number of regions, either based on some mean value, grayscale value, color, texture, some dimension, size and shape. So based on those attributes, and those attributes they constitute criteria, and based on suitable criteria, we segment the image into number of regions. So this is an introduction of segmentation. We will continue this lecture with a number of subsequent lectures, which will be highlighting on different methods, their working, along with a specific application where a particular type of method is used. So that's all for this lecture today. Thank you.